Hello and welcome to a CoffeeCast from Roofer's Coffee Shop. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and this CoffeeCast is all about delighting customers with technology. And it's so important. Technology brings all the data, all the information right to the customers, however you're looking at it. And today we wanted to bring someone who has worked with several companies to be able to put together bring the technology to the forefront, launch it, and help that company have great success with customer satisfaction. So this is one of many videos. Be sure to watch them all. And it is sponsored by Java. So I am here today with my friend, Carol Wyman, who is with Java. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you.
And glad Carol is my co-host. I didn't mention that. So we've been having this wonderful journey together, talking to all these great contractors.
It's been fun, and all of the different companies and the different people we've talked to offer a different perspective on how Java can help with your business and making sure that you meet your goals.
I love it. I love it. Well, Carol, why don't you start with an introduction of yourself and Java, and then also let's talk. Just share with a little bit this whole purpose of delighting your customers with technology for this CoffeeCast.
Yes, thank you. Hi, I'm Carol Wyman. I am the VP of Marketing for Java Trade Technologies. I've been here a few years, but I have a very long path in the building industry, working with contractors and architects and program managers, et cetera, for most of my career. And then more recently, in the last 10 years, I've been working with technology and being able to make sure that customer needs are met through technology within the industry. So that's my role and what I do. The reason that Heidi and I are working together on this is to be able to talk about how customer-centric businesses and similar mindsets make for successful ventures and successful companies. And so we are here today with Erin Pike, who has had a long road within the roofing industry. Erin, do you want to share a little bit about your background and where you've worked and what you offer all these great companies?
Yeah, so I've been in roofing for about 15 years now. I've worked at multiple different national companies, working with multiple different systems, implementing, training, learning multiple different facets of the roofing industry, from installing to accounting. So worked with everybody. So I'm very well versed in multiple different systems. I started actually back before roofing on the software side. So implementing, selling, and all of that fun stuff for roofing contractors to begin with. So made a lot of great connections, which is how I've been able to stay in contact with a bunch of people that some of them work at Java. So we all have a great relationship that has been going on for years.
That is great. It's so interesting when you think about that, how many companies you've helped step into the technology realm. I mean, maybe they had a little bit, but 15 years, technology has really just taken off over that time span. So can you share with us kind of like, what are some of the challenges that you've seen for yourself and for the contractors of selecting a software and the right one for their business?
Absolutely. So it's always about what your customer, you want to present to them, right? Obviously, there's always the ability to take pictures and throw it in a Word document and make it look, as nice as you possibly can. But overall, it's being able to track, knowing what your field techs are doing, knowing that they are supposed to be, on site when they're supposed to be on site. Because you never want to call a customer and say, oh, by the way, we're not making it today, or, something came up, or we didn't know our technicians were where they're supposed to be. All those things that happen on a daily basis for most contractors. So being able to actually see where your guys are at, knowing that you can track them, knowing that their time's actually going in correctly, knowing what your materials are, being able to provide customers with NTE increases instead of calling at a later date saying, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, we went over by $1,000. Can you please approve this for us? So there's multiple different aspects on the sales side to even the accounting, right? being able to implement for, instead of doing manual entries into your accounting system, having that flow process to be able to automatically connect them, have them talking together, knowing that the information is correct. So if you pull reports, they're right in both systems. There's multiple systems that do not work that way. So you can also help predict what's going to happen in the future, right? You don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. To see what growth you're hitting with which customers, where are you not hitting the growth that you were expecting and why. Being able to have those actual conversations with data in front of you that you can see is one of the greatest aspects of having Java, is to actually have these BI reports that you are able to know where exactly what targets you will be hitting, that most other companies don't have that ability, or the reports aren't correct. And bad reports equal bad everything else. So reporting is definitely a major aspect of what everybody is looking for.
I mean, Carol, as a contractor-driven development company that Java is, working with Aaron has to be pretty amazing with the feedback and the collaboration that you've all had.
Absolutely. And what I think is interesting is I bet that Erin, being, so well-versed in FCS and in Java, she probably knows more about the ins and outs of our company and how we work than most people, even within Java. And that isn't a slam to the people that work here, because we all are very passionate about knowing and understanding how Java works and what it offers. But when you're in there every single day, like Erin is, she just is a powerhouse when it comes to understanding how data flows, and she's the first to say, bad data in, bad data out too. And if you don't have a process in place to be able to help, that's workable, that's doable, that everyone's following, then, that's not the technology fault. That's a process and people fault. So I think it's great to be able to talk to someone that is so well versed in the industry and also understands the system so well.
Yeah. Erin, talk to us a little bit about the implementation. So you've been going into companies that are just starting, that you're just implementing. You've got to find, I'm sure you've had a couple filing cabinets that you've had to go through to put all this together.
Terabytes of data that we've had to import. But like Carol said, bad data in, bad data out. So not only are you doing implementation into a system, you're also cleaning up whatever it was that was in a different system, right? So if these processes were not in place originally, it's not so great. So even just going through and making sure that the data that you are putting in and going through it, and then making sure that when you're doing this and explaining it to everyone else, okay, look, we've spent this much time cleaning up data, that shouldn't be an issue. So they see why, when you're moving a system specifically, what happens when you do have that bad data and why these processes are in place. So it's a very real slap in the face sometimes when you're going through and saying, guys, 50,000 of these records are bad. You do get to see both sides of it. And then everybody gets that buy-in once you get it in place, because they're like, oh, wow, I don't want to do that, because it works on all sides, right? Sales don't get the commissions that they were hoping for, or maybe they thought they were getting, or you find out that people aren't doing what they say that they're doing. So there's a lot of things that go into play that the system helps you actually show, the very easy buy-in of, look, this is what we can pull, this is what you're looking at, and this is why we're spending so much time and moving forward what we really wanted to accomplish. So implementation is always an interesting side, no matter how you do it. Even with the best of companies, there's still always a learning curve for everyone. But as far as getting the information in, working with the team that is at Java, that is a very smooth process. It's never an issue on Java's side with getting anything in. It's always on the contractor side of, okay, what are we looking at? What's real? What's not? And spending that amount of time, and it is months sometimes, of making sure that information is correct. And then obviously, I know we'll kind of dive into it, but we're also integrating our accounting system. So we are doing full inventory. We are doing all of, if a customer goes into Java, it goes into our accounting system instantly within 2 minutes. We have conversations between the two. So there is a lot that the system can do that most other systems can't. There's not a programmer there. There's not the understanding of it. And it takes a lot of time to get systems to work together and work together flawlessly, which we've been very lucky to have some of our programmers that we've worked with on Java side, along with the programmer that we currently have, to be able to get this all rolling out. So it is amazing to see what systems can do and how far they came, because it used to just be one of those wonderful Excel exports and you maybe get a kickback and don't really know. And so it is absolutely amazing to know that when you post something in Java, within 2 minutes, we have it posted into a whole nother system with the accurate information. So it is absolutely fantastic.
I'm blown away, to be honest. This is just so cool and so fast. So you are bringing not only are you integrating accounting software, but you're bringing several companies together also that all need to communicate. How is that working for you and working with Java?
Yes. So we have multiple companies. We partner up with companies that are doing the right thing, have the right numbers, have the right mindset, looking to grow. So we are constantly acquiring new companies, which is phenomenal. But yes, that is always a challenge. So the great thing with Java is you can still have all those separated. So just because it's one system, it's not one system. So yes, as an admin, I can go in and see all these different companies. We can set it up for accounting with all these separate companies, but in reality, it's still just one. So I can flip through from one company to the next with just the click of a button saying switch account. So being able to do that instead of actually logging into all these multiple companies, you lose your mind doing that. To be able to have one login and be able to get it all, at the tip of your fingers and pull the exact same reports is phenomenal.
Right. It's amazing. Streamlining the process and being able to have that at your fingertips just saves so much time. And it is getting there. People always say, "Oh, that seems like so much work," and it's like, well, you can either do the work now or the work later, because at some point your business will not grow if you don't have the right technology in place and the right system and process in place. So you can either take it on now or realize that you have a bigger issue and a bigger problem later on. And so I'm sure Erin has seen that as well in her time in the industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've done multiple different reports out of multiple different systems. And I can tell you it is extremely frustrating when you're pulling reports out of one, especially when you're looking at growth options and seeing where we can expand and what we're doing. And then you pull it out of, say, accounting, and those reports do not match at all. I've seen that happen more times than not. And it is so infuriating because you're trying to find out which report actually is correct. Obviously, you would hope that accounting is correct, but you should be able to pull out of a CRM, the same information, because that should be the same. So yes, you do see a lot of this back and forth, and where people have to pull all these different reports and merge it into one. And you spend so much time trying to make sure that information is correct. Where in Java, we can pull it at the same. And like I said, it instantly communicates to our accounting system. So those reports are going to be identical to each other.
Yeah. Across several companies.
Exactly. Multiple different companies.
When I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about the scalability. And Carol, I'm so glad you brought that up, because in my mind, I was thinking a lot of roofing companies just want to scale on their own. But Erin, what you're talking about is scaling with new companies over and over and over again, and being able to have them all communicate on the same platform, understand each other. So I always am curious culturally, like as you start bringing these companies in, and you also have the people within, the current companies all adopting this technology, how has that worked? And I guess my question is, how has the software kind of hopefully made that adoption a little bit easier?
So obviously the biggest thing was what I was talking about with the reports, right? Being able to see those reports. When I'm importing their information into the system and seeing what's going on, it blows my mind how much bad data there is. So it's very easy to get everybody for the buy-in, no matter what, because you can show them in the reports. And then you're assigning them to clean up their own information also, because obviously, when you purchase a company, you don't know what all information is real and what's not. I mean, you see the books to know that that is right and where they're saying they're at, but you don't see all the nitty gritty of it. So once you're going through it and showing them, okay, guys, we got to get this cleaned up. What is real? What's not real? Where are we kind of at? And they seem like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we've been doing this for years. One of the companies was 14 years of information. 14 years of bad information. You don't want to run your company on 14 years of bad information. So when you show them this, you have almost an instant buy-in from everyone because they are so overwhelmed that we're like, we were projecting, these numbers. Well, you could have if you would have done it correctly. So that is like an instant buy-in, I would say, from everyone. Technicians love it because it's easy. They can do it on their phone. It's in the field. They can see everything. They don't have to go all the way forward, all the way backwards, all the way forwards, all the way backwards. Everything is right there at their fingertips. They see what's open currently. They know what we've quoted. They know what's outstanding. They can see all of it instead of having to call the office and say, hey, I saw this. I'm going to put a quote on it. And then we're sending a customer multiple quotes of the exact same thing. That's never good either.
No.
So with the technology, the way Java has it set up, you see all of that. So the technicians already know, hey, the customer knows about this. I don't have to do anything. If anything, they call the contractor and say, hey guys, this is really what's causing the problem. Can we get it approved? And you communicate, but you don't have to send all these different proposals because you didn't know it was ever there.
Wow.
The transparency, that is something that I'm so happy to see, that once someone logs in, they can see all of the things that are pertinent to them. And they see if someone's reached out, they've done that, if they've done this. And so it saves a lot of communication because it's communicating for you.
Absolutely.
And it's communicating to the customers, which brings us back to it's delighting the customers because when the company has all good data, they're giving good data and transparency to their customers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Erin, I'm incredibly impressed. I have one more question, and that is, what do you see for the future? What are some of the things you've been such an integral part of FCS and Java? What do you see for the future that you're excited about on, new opportunities to expand using the software for your companies?
So we are constantly purchasing new companies, looking for, other people that are in the same mindset as us. That's one of the big things when we do purchase a company. We make sure that the mindsets do connect. We don't want to just come in and take over, and that never works out right. So being able to have the mindsets that we are looking for with the growth that we are looking for to team up with, that's really what it comes down to, is we look for additional teams to join ours. So I'm excited to see, all these other companies that have the same mindset, that are able to work together. The group that I've been working with, everybody has an excitement to it. I've had them in the system for about 4 weeks now. I've told them, try to break it, try to do something. They have yet to figure out how to break it, which is amazing. But they get excited. It's new. And then they also know that it's training, right? So the great thing is we have a training system to be able to use that doesn't actually go to live. So we have the ability to have everybody in it and get excited about it and mess around and have fun with it and do whatever they want to do, where a lot of them don't have that ability. You don't have a training and then a live, right? You have live and you better delete it because you don't want it to go into your accounting system.
Right.
So we can do whatever we want to and have everybody comfortable with it before the actual live launch, which definitely helps with everybody.
That has definitely been one of our favorite things so far throughout all of these videos. We've heard about that and being able to go on and train. And we all know with labor and labor shortages, how important that training, ongoing training is for retention and recruitment. So
absolutely.
Erin, thank you so much. This has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time today and all your wisdom.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We love it, Carol. Wow.
Yes, so many different types of clients. And this is fun. It's fun with Erin because she has seen it all.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Erin. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate both of you.
Thank you. And thank you all. This is, again, we're on a CoffeeCast. There are several videos in this playlist, so be sure to watch them all and check out our intro and our outro, because you're going to hear more from Carol and myself talking about customer delight through technology. We'll be back with the next CoffeeCast video.